what if the key to unlocking, the true potential of advanced AI? What if it isn't about paying more for the fastest model or even getting better hardware? What if the difference between just a generic answer and a really expert-level insight rests on just a few specific, simple phrases? We're talking today about how to force the AI to slow down, to think deeply, and to actually give you its absolute best work. And this is the kicker, even if you're working entirely on the free plan.
Welcome to the deep dive. Look, if you're like most people, you might be using something like ChatGPT the same way you'd use a slightly smarter Google. You ask a simple question, you get a decent but generic answer, and then you just move on.
Yeah, it's transactional.
Exactly. Today, we are going to completely transform that habit. We're doing a deep dive into 21 high-leverage techniques that turn this tool from, a basic chatbot into a persistent, organized, and truly customized intellectual workspace.
Our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to help you skip past that initial learning curve and move from being a typical question and answer user into someone who really understands how to architect better results. We'll cover advanced prompt architecture, some secret organizational features, and how you can essentially build mini applications without ever touching a line of code.
That's a great roadmap. Let's start at the most fundamental level. How you structure your input and, maybe more critically, how you manage the AI's actual reasoning process.
Okay, so the core frustration we always hear from people is just disappointment. They get these underwhelming results because their prompts are often too vague or too basic.
Or just plain poor, yeah.
Right.
And that's usually the case. It's rarely the model failing. It's almost always a lack of structured guidance.
Yeah.
Now, there's an immediate shortcut for this. It's called prompt packs.
Oh, I found these to be high leverage right away.
Yeah.
These are basically custom prompts that OpenAI itself developed for specific professional roles. They have them for sales, engineering, finance, marketing.
So if you're running a marketing strategy, you can grab a pack with, say, 20 or 30 highly structured prompts for campaign planning or market research. You just click a link, the prompt is preloaded with all the structure it needs, and it's just waiting for your details. It's an instant fix for prompt quality.
So that handles the structure problem. But let's talk about the mechanics. This is the free hack that really pays off that hook we started with. Trigger words.
Right. Most people in the free tier are just letting the model run in auto mode. And what that means is it's prioritizing speed and efficiency over deep thinking. It's taking shortcuts.
It's giving you the fastest answer, not the best one.
Exactly. We need to force some quality control.
And you don't get the quality settings of a paid plan, but you can sort of reroute the prompt internally. By adding specific, simple phrases, these trigger words, you force the model to use its deeper, more careful reasoning models, even in the base version.
Yeah, the coup is to convey urgency, necessity. Phrases like think deeply, step by step, or be extremely thorough. This is critical to get right. These consistently force the AI to route your prompt to a high-quality process. It's basically a free upgrade to the model's intellectual rigor.
It changes the internal clock of the machine. Okay, so let's talk about feedback. This is another area where users get stuck. If you ask ChatGPT to critique your own work, it tends to be, well, a little too agreeable, and I'll admit I still wrestle with prompt drift myself, especially when I'm trying to get honest, unvarnished critique on a draft I've written.
Yeah, that core programming of being helpful can be genuinely detrimental when you need an objective, critical evaluation. It doesn't want to hurt your feelings, which is kind of ridiculous, but that is the behavior.
So we use the impersonal critique trick. You just reframe the source of the material completely, don't say it's yours. You present the work as being from an impersonal source, maybe a stubborn colleague or an anonymous submission you were asked to review.
Exactly. You say, this business strategy was anonymously submitted, and I have serious concerns about the assumptions made in segment 3. Help me critically evaluate it.
Ah, I see. So by putting that distance between you and the work, the AI flips its helpful nature. It's now helping you by critiquing the other material.
And you get that genuinely critical, detailed review you needed all along. It's a subtle shift in framing, but one of the most powerful hacks there is.
Okay, that covers getting honest critique. But what about when you're just starting out? You need to gather context for a brand new request. We often spend ages writing up a huge context document.
Right. Stop struggling to provide all the context yourself. Just use the hack of asking the AI to ask you clarifying questions. If you just say, create a weekly newsletter plan, that's way too vague. But if you tell it, before starting, ask me the top 5 clarifying questions you need to tailor this to my audience and my 3-month goals, the output is completely different.
So the AI, now in its role as a sharp strategic partner, It will generate questions you probably hadn't even thought of yourself. And once you answer them, its advice becomes surgical.
And finally, after all this work, maybe you went back and forth, I don't know, 15 times to get the perfect response. Don't lose that effort. This is where prompt de-escalation comes in.
Right, that long, iterative process you just went through contains all the perfect, optimized guidance you gave the AI over several steps.
So you just ask the AI to synthesize that entire conversation into one single reusable prompt that would have produced that same result on the first try. It saves you a massive amount of time on future projects.
So let's focus just on the free tier user for a moment. How can they ensure high-quality output every single time they hit enter?
By consistently using trigger words, you force the AI to employ those deeper, higher quality reasoning models. Okay, so we have to address the idea of persistence. If you are still using ChatGPT as just a series of isolated, disposable chats, you're missing the single biggest shift in its utility: projects.
Projects are the ultimate organization engine. They just recently became a core free feature, and they moved the AI from being a simple chat tool to a persistent, organized, and systematic workspace.
Yeah, think of them as organized folders for your intellectual life. You could have a folder for fitness tracking, one for finance planning, another one dedicated to your long-form writing. But it's so much more than just folders.
hmm
The real power is in the memory that's tied to that specific project folder. You can upload reference files, things like your brand style guides, your company's SOPs, or your full portfolio history. And these files serve as permanent context.
And that's the key.
It is. Crucially, every chat you start with in that project folder automatically references those files. You never have to repeat that core information again. It's like assigning a dedicated staff member to that specific topic.
And that leads right into the second layer here, which is custom instructions per project. Unlike the universal custom instructions that apply to everything, these settings only apply within that specific folder. So this lets you define a highly specific role and tone just for that project. For example, in your writing project, the instruction could be, act as a ruthless copy editor with zero tolerance for passive voice.
Right. And to set this up really efficiently, don't just name the project writing. Name it after the outcome, like weekly newsletter engine. Then you upload those style guides. And then here's a pro tip. Instead of writing the custom instructions yourself, ask ChatGPT to give you a series of detailed questions to gather context about the project. Answer those questions, and then ask the AI to rewrite your answers into its official custom instructions.
Wow, so you're optimizing the brain of your project using the tool itself.
You got it.
That is a fundamental workflow optimization. This whole structure, though, it connects really deeply to the idea of system prompts. We should probably clarify the difference between custom instructions and system prompts.
Good point. So custom instructions are the permanent rules for the project folder. A system prompt is a temporary instruction that sets the model's behavior before a specific task begins, just within a single chat thread.
Most users only write the user prompt, analyze this data. The power user operates on the system layer. You write the system prompt first, which dictates the lens through which the analysis will be performed.
Exactly. For example, instead of just asking for a competitive analysis, you start with a system prompt like. You are a senior, highly skeptical financial analyst who is deeply detail-oriented and prioritizes real-world market constraints over theoretical optimism.
That is fantastic. It changes the entire reasoning frame. Every single response after that follows the tone and the decision logic you set. You're not fixing bad answers with longer questions. You're fixing them by intentionally changing how the model thinks.
And just a minor hack here, because these persistent threads can sometimes get lost in your chat history. If you remember the topic, you can ask a current chat to recall memories from a past conversation. It's a small but useful feature when you need that lost context.
So if the listener only takes one thing from this segment, what's the core advantage of setting up projects with custom instructions?
It ensures consistent behavior and a defined role across every single conversation related to that specific outcome.
All right, let's pivot now to functionality that really speeds up your workflow, things that eliminate manual steps. If you are doing any kind of heavy writing or structured editing, you have to know about Canvas.
Canvas is essentially a specialized document editor right inside the AI environment. You ask the AI to open a document in Canvas, and you can instantly start targeting specific sections for high-level changes.
This is great for granular work. You can manually edit the text, or you can just highlight a paragraph and prompt for a targeted change like convert this paragraph into a detailed timeline table with 3 columns.
And this is the part that saves so much time. The formatting is preserved perfectly when you export the file. You get a clean PDF, a Microsoft Word document, or a Markdown file without losing any of the structure or having to repaste and reformat everything.
But the real shift in leverage, I think, comes with the ability to build many apps without needing any coding skills at all. And you can integrate this right into your projects.
This is truly mind-boggling. You take that workout tracker example. You just describe what you want. You say, build me a fully functional workout tracker website with session history, analytics, and an adjustable rest timer.
And without writing a single piece of code or defining the interface, ChatGPT will write the necessary code, create a functional interface, and include the adjustable timers and analytics. You get a usable tool right there.
Whoa. Imagine scaling that. Building customized internal tools for complex business processes, like a specialized inventory management system or a dynamic sales calculator for your team. That's not just leverage, that's real automation.
Moving on to just pure speed gains. Formatting and file extraction. We spend so much time copying tables out of PDFs and pasting them into spreadsheets. Just stop.
Yeah, stop doing that. You can now request direct exports into specific downloadable file types right from the chat. CSV, JSON, HTML, PowerPoint, even SVG. It eliminates all that annoying manual reformatting.
And the extraction is incredibly powerful. You can upload a 50-page PDF with 4 different tables and just ask for the output as a downloadable CSV.
Or upload a PDF with a bunch of images and ask the AI to extract all of them into a single file. It's instantaneous format conversion.
Right.
And finally, we should just briefly cover app connectors. If you enable them in your settings, though they often require a paid tier for full functionality, they let the AI interact directly with external software.
The Canva integration is the clearest example of this. You can prompt, create an engaging pitch deck for my business idea. ChatGPT generates the core copy, uses the connector to create visuals based on your prompt, and then gives you an editable design link you open directly in Canva.
It's integrated workflow automation.
So, beyond just asking simple questions, how do these tools really save us the most time?
They eliminate manual reformatting and allow for complex visual workflow automation that bypasses manual coding. All right, let's quickly wrap up with a few different interaction modes and how you can access specialized expertise. First, 2 quick keyboard shortcuts for speed are worth remembering. Command or Control plus Shift plus O gets you a new chat instance immediately.
And Command or Control plus Shift plus S opens and closes the sidebar.
Right, simple time savers.
Then we have these incredible high-utility features. Voice and vision modes. Voice mode is just fantastic for role-playing or things way beyond basic conversation. You can use it to practice a difficult conversation or run through a complex salary negotiation with real-time feedback, or use it for specialized language learning where you get immediate conversational correction. It completely changes the dynamic.
And paired with voice is mobile vision. Using your phone's camera in real time opens up a whole new world of possibilities. You can point your camera at, say, a complicated piece of equipment you're trying to set up, a new router maybe, and ask the AI for guidance on which port is which. Or point it at complex homework diagrams and ask for immediate visual help.
Now, onto the specialized assistants, custom GPTs. And while building your own requires a paid plan, remember this. Using the thousands of existing pre-built GPTs is completely free. You just find them via the Explore tab.
Yeah, and these aren't just chats. They're specialized versions of the AI, often trained on specific documentation or optimized for a certain complex task, like the N8N workflow assistant or a focused research generator.
And the crucial, really advanced hack here is how you can summon GPTs. You don't have to leave your current ongoing conversation to use them. You just type the @ symbol and start typing the GPT name you want to use.
This is a massive workflow change because it allows you to stack functionality. You could be deep in a technical draft in one chat, summon a specialized editing GPT to review just a single paragraph, and then seamlessly continue your original conversation. No losing context, no opening new tabs.
And we've saved the last couple of points for the brief paid features summary because they do represent significant leverage if you decide to take the plunge.
Right. The data analysis feature, for those on the paid plan, is essentially a full-fledged data scientist in a box. You upload large data sets, CSVs, Excel files, whatever, and the AI processes the data, identifies patterns, and generates multiple visualization options like interactive charts and graphs.
And of course, the ability to build custom GPTs yourself is the ultimate time saver. You create reusable, personalized AI workers tailored to specific, highly repetitive tasks like creating a unique invoice based on your internal formatting, just by interacting with the builder using natural language.
Hmm.
So thinking about maximizing flow, what's the most important takeaway for people regarding these specialized GPTs?
Remember that you can stack the expertise of those pre-built specialized assistants right into your current workflow using the simple at symbol. If you begin implementing even 5 of these techniques today, you will immediately be operating at a level that's far beyond the vast majority of users. These features aren't gimmicks. They fundamentally change your frame of reference. You have to stop just asking questions and instead start building consistent systems. The key to moving it to that top tier power users is intentional setup, especially using projects and system prompts to explicitly define the AI's role and behavior before it ever generates a single line of content.
That is the crucial shift, intentionality. So my challenge to you is to start small, today. Create one simple project right now. Maybe it's just a dedicated folder for learning a new skill. And maybe use that pro technique we talked about of having the AI rewrite its own instructions to maximize its efficiency from the very start. The real discovery here is mapping these new capabilities to your own unique, high-value workflows. What repetitive task could you turn into a mini automation today? That's where you're going to find true, lasting leverage. Out to your own music.